What if I told you that for many moons in the Destiny 2 PvP sandbox, a cold war had been quietly waged between two titans of its weapon archetype? The sidearms, Traveler's Chosen, and Drang, locked in a never-ending battle to see who would prevail. Would you prefer the utility provided by the Traveler's Chosen's perk set, or the sheer, raw, hand cannon-like lethality of the Drang or the Drang Baroque? Much like the contemplation of our mortal existence, this battle would go on seemingly forever. Until this season, a new challenger, a relic from a bygone era, would trespass its way into the conversation and throw everything into chaos. Along with a revitalization of its arch-nemesis Drang, the Traveler's Chosen was seemingly left behind in this discussion as people fawned over the Trespasser's new, vibrant look in Destiny 2 and the updated perks and accessibility of the now craftable Drang. But it is the Forgotten Warrior who is most dangerous. So today, we're going to analyze, once and for all, is Traveler's Chosen the best sidearm? I am going to stop doing this ridiculous voice, as it's kind of annoying to upkeep now. Anyways, yes, the question of what is the best sidearm in Destiny 2 has gotten significantly more interesting this season, especially because Last Word is set to finally take a step back with its upcoming nerfs, and that means sidearms are suddenly going to become much more relevant. They were already very strong, but they're now going to become even more valuable. And Traveler's Chosen is currently our best option in the kinetic slot, so what does it have to offer compared to Trespasser and Drang, and should you consider using it, especially if you're a current Last Word convert? These questions and more we will answer right after we take a second, and remind you guys to take a second, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way. Our long goal is 10,000 subscribers, but we are very close to 6,000. So every sub counts, every like counts, and every comment helps boost these videos into the YouTube algorithm, helps get them out to more and more people. So take a second and do it, and all of your sidearm shots will hit regardless of what your input method is. And with that out of the way, let's get right back to the video. Okay, let's start off from the top here and take a look at the stats of Traveler's Chosen. It sits in the best-in-class archetype in my opinion, being a 300 RPM adaptive sidearm, and its stats overall are best in class when you compare it to its other competitors in the archetype. The only notable differences between it and Drang, which is also a 300 RPM sidearm, is that Drang has better base handling, and most crucially, 2 extra zooms, something we will touch on in just a moment. But this archetype is crazy. Actually, if you take a look, the adaptive sidearm archetype owns the fastest base time to kill in the entire game, owning a 4 crit, 0.6 second time to kill. So it is faster base than the Messenger if you can hit those 4 crits inside of your damage fall-off range. Now admittedly, you're not going to hit that very often, especially on mouse and keyboard, due to the inherent weirdness of sidearms and their connection. I would say most often, you're going to encounter a mixed time to kill requiring 5 shots, like 3 crits, 2 body shots, and if you can land that, that's still a comfortable 0.8 second time to kill. I did the math on it, and that's still very, very lethal. It's slightly slower than something like the Trespasser, but you're faster than hand cannons, and that's what really matters. This is kind of a similar thing to like a Last Word type of situation, where the optimal time to kill is incredible, game-breaking even, but most people aren't going to be able to hit all of those crits consistently. But again, it's not that bad because your average time to kill is still incredible. Beyond the stats, what Traveler's Chosen is in terms of actual gameplay is a weapon that's all about resource management. Every kill will give you Gathering Light. In PvP, a Guardian kill rewards you 2 stacks of Gathering Light, and this is where things get interesting. Every stack of Gathering Light is worth 10% of all of your abilities' cooldowns. So every Guardian kill is effectively 20% of whatever ability cooldown you would want to refresh. You can either choose to consume those stacks by holding R, or you can choose to hold those stacks, and instead of benefiting your ability cooldown, holding stacks will make the weapon better. You'll get increased handling, reload speed, and crucially, target acquisition, aka aim assist. So there's an interesting interplay going on. If you're an ability-focused player or running an ability-heavy build, then it makes sense to get your Traveler's Chosen kills and then burn your stacks to get your ability uptime faster. But if you're just using Traveler's Chosen to be your last word, your primary weapon to duel with, it makes a lot of sense to actually hold on to those first couple of kills, chain a few more kills, get those stacks up higher, and then burn them all at once to refund an ability entirely. That way you get the benefit of the increased statistical package for those subsequent fights. Now, I did a lot of digging, and I could not find values for how much aim assist handling and reload speed you get per stack of Guiding Light. I just could not find it. If anyone knows, please leave it in the comments and I will make sure to highlight that. But just off of feeling, you get the first kill and you can definitely feel a little stickier. You get 2 or 3 kills, maybe you get a good streak going. If you have 6+ stacks of Gathering Light, it almost feels like an entirely different weapon. It starts to feel like Drang levels of stickiness, which is a good thing to point out. The reason that Drang is so beloved as a sidearm is because it has higher base zoom than every other sidearm in the game. It actually has hand cannon zoom at 14. This inherently makes Drang a longer range sidearm than every other sidearm in the game, and consequently more sticky, more connective. And the big problem for a mouse and keyboard player is that sidearms seem to have this weird thing where I don't know if it's bloom, I don't know if it's just a lack of stickiness because there's no reticle friction, but sidearms ghost bullet a lot for mouse and keyboard players. And I want to emphasize, for mouse and keyboard players, this is a problem. Which is why most often when you see sidearms on mouse and keyboard players, it's Drang, because Drang seems to get around this. Traveler's Chosen also gets around this, but in a different way, requiring the investment of the player and holding those stacks to get there. Don't get me wrong, Traveler's Chosen is still really good base, but it does have that sidearm effect with 0 stacks, and if you play with sidearms on mouse and keyboard, I think you'll know what I'm talking about. The last thing to note here is that the Traveler's Chosen does feature a catalyst, and the catalyst is very impactful. It gives it not only full auto, but also osmosis and a small magazine increase. And full auto is the big thing here. This is where those last word comparisons really come home. Traveler's Chosen is the ultimate spam cannon in terms of sidearms. You lay down the trigger, you put that fire down range, and you just hope to God you hit the crits you need to hit. Drang, a precision focused weapon more so. Trespasser is something that requires a bit of patience and timing to hit all of your bursts, but no, Traveler's Chosen, just in that spirit, is just wheel, deal, let that magazine fly, and hope it all works out. And interesting to note, and I've seen other YouTubers point this out too, I think Wallow's commented about this before, I don't know why, but Traveler's Chosen seems to feel more connective when you hip fire it. I have nothing to back that up, no science to see why that happens. I think it just might be the crosshairs a little bit jumpy when you're spamming full auto with it, but if you're struggling to hit stuff with the Traveler's Chosen, especially up close and personal, just hip fire. Sidearms have incredible base hip fire accuracy, and the Traveler's Chosen feels extra sticky compared to your normal sidearm. Alright, we've been talking a lot about this weapon now. We've been going for about 8 minutes here. Cards on the table. Is the Traveler's Chosen the best sidearm in the game? I think in terms of raw lethality, dueling capabilities, I don't think so. I think the Trespasser is a better sidearm in terms of the 1v1 duel. However, I think the Traveler's Chosen will be the most used sidearm, especially when the next update hits and Last Word gets nerfed. The big thing that Traveler's Chosen will always own over Drang and Trespasser is that it's in the kinetic slot. And like it or not, some of the most popular special weapons in the game are energy weapons. Beloved, main ingredient, without remorse. Really, if you're a sniper and you're thinking about sidearm sniper instead of Last Word sniper, why wouldn't you just slap on Traveler's Chosen instead? It replaces the Last Word 1-for-1 without changing anything else about your loadout. If you want to switch something like the Trespasser or the Drang, you have to switch up to a different sniper, and that can be difficult when you're used to one sniper and its exact perks and feel. And to be honest, the lethality is not that far behind. When I say the Trespasser is better, it might just be better for my playstyle. I find the Trespasser to be a little bit more connective, a little easier to use, especially on mouse and keyboard. If you're a controller player, it's Traveler's Chosen. Traveler's Chosen is by far the best controller sidearm. End of story. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video today, guys. If you haven't used Traveler's Chosen in a while, bust it out. It's one of the most versatile weapons in PvP and PvE. It's one of the best designed exotics. It really honors itself as a workhorse primary, and demands your respect, especially in the Crucible. So give it a try and let us know how you feel about it in the comments down below. What do you want to see us review next? Also leave that down there. Just leave anything, leave a comment, just leave a smiley face. It helps out entirely no matter what you do. Make sure you like the video as well and subscribe to the channel to help us on our journey to 10,000 subscribers. Other than that, my name is Lionhearts. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.